Okoha kia mele o Kalamaula, mea wahimene o kia mele ma.
Give God my absolute best. You're giving Him your best when you're giving Him your all.
Aloha, the Hawaii County Council meeting.
Thank you, folks. Let's check in with all of our sites over in Kona. Karen, hi. Any testifiers out in Kona?
Good morning, Chairman Yagang. We do have one testifier here.
Very good. Manu, out in Waimea. Any testifiers in Waimea?
Good morning, and thank you, Chairman Yagang. We do not have any testifiers at the moment.
Okay, very good. We do have two testifiers here in Hilo. So why don't we take our first testifier out in Kona, and then we'll come back here to Hilo.
Together we can, you guys. Together we can.
To utilize these lands for the people.
Break the military. Let's break
what the hell you do?
So why are the state coming in here and the county trying to purchase these from
Buzz loves to sniff and fly around. It's also a magic wand. It too is like a magic wand.
Hi, I'm Christy Fecky, and we're going to talk to you about Family Fun Day today.
Hi, and I'm Linda Jeffrey.
And this is my very good friend that I brought along to help today. This is Uncle Taco.
And my friend that I brought along is Leo the Lion. Hi, Leo.
Hi, Leo.
In those days, it was not English.
English. And you also say Olelo America. America, which means American, to speak American.
Makauga Hawaii.
Good morning, Wave Riders. I'm Caitlin. And I'm Ryder.
Good morning, Wave Riders. Hopefully you enjoyed that.
Discover Naleo o Hawaii. Discover the voices of Hawaii.
I'm Darla DeVille with your Hawaii Island United Way. Did you know that the Hawaii Island United Way is a volunteer-driven organization? It is, right here on the Big Island, with a mission to unite people, organizations, and resources to build a healthier community. And this year, the Hawaii Island United Way is funding 53 specific programs delivered by 39 agencies island-wide. We really truly do believe in program funding because programs deliver outcomes for results we can see. So this year we are going to focus on sharing some of these fabulous programs with everyone here on our Big Island community through Naleo. We hope you enjoy the presentations. We hope you enjoy the amazing work the Hawaii Island United Way is doing for all of us here in our community. And to see that amazing work, please visit us at hiuw.org. Without you, it couldn't be done. Aloha.
You can make a difference.
Together we can.
Lasting change comes from within.
I had hit the low point in my life. Hopeless, helpless, frustrated with the world, and then drinking at night until I passed out. Right before passing out, praying that I wouldn't wake up in the morning. Alcoholism destroys most of our relationships. In fact, for me, it destroyed all of my relationships. The foundation of my recovery was laid at Bridge House. Without Bridge House, I don't believe any of the other programs would have worked. The mission of Bridge House is to provide a safe, supportive environment for people in recovery from alcohol or substance abuse. It was a staff that really helped me to understand that there were many layers. I'm so grateful to everyone who has contributed to the United Way. Words cannot express the gratitude I have for the people of Bridge House. They changed my life. They gave me a new life, a life that I love and look forward to living today.
No matter how strong you think you are, everybody needs somebody. He always made sure we had. There was always food on the table. He did what he had to do. And when he retired from the Navy, he worked for the post office. Then when he retired from that, he helped my mom make lace because my mom was a lei maker. Back in September, we medevaced him to Oahu, and Queens did a complete test on him and says, "Your dad's cancer count is over 600. I said, what do you want to do? And he says, I want to go home. I want to go back to the Big Island. Sometimes I thought I was losing my mind. You're really lost, you don't know. But when it actually happens to you, you're lost. There were times that I just wanted to really give up. And if it weren't for Hawaii Island United Way, I would have. Without hospice, so many people would probably just die at home alone.
Well, I wanted to beat diabetes. I wanted everybody to beat it and win. The first day I went to Bay Clinic, my glucose around 600. The normal is between 70 and 110. I'm on my way to recovery. I want to live a long, long time. Changed my life, and it saved my life.
I first became an American Red Cross certified lifeguard when I was 15 years old. I was always a fish and loved the water. People always ask you if you've rescued anyone or if you've ever done CPR. And your favorite answer is always to say no, because that means you are doing a good job, you're preventing accidents, and you never want to have to use the skills that you've been trained for, especially CPR. I was lifeguarding the shallow end of the pool when a young boy came up to me and asked me, "Miss, what is wrong with my friend?" And I walked over. The boy was not in the water, he was on the side of the pool, and he was unconscious. We did CPR and AED skills until the fire rescue came and took him to the hospital. When they took him from the pool, he was breathing and he had a pulse. The Hawaii Island United Way provides funding for the American Red Cross to help save lives. The American Red Cross is responsible for the fact that I've been taught how to save a life and that I can teach other people how to also save those lives.
My son was born with a disadvantage. He wasn't crawling, he wasn't walking, he wasn't doing the normal things. Jason, my son, is a 27-year-old adult that has a level at about 5 or 6 years old. So we can't leave him alone. We can't just let him cross the street by himself. We have to manage our life to take care of him as a 5 or 6-year-old. It's 7 years he's been there, and it's a wonderful thing for him because of a program like the Arc of Hilo, who United Way supports. You have to do what you have to do, and programs like this, it's wonderful because we can actually, live a normal life and give Jason the best that we possibly can. The gift that people give that can help the program, it's very, very important.
I'm a mother of 7 children. I'm married. I had a home, an automobile, a job, and unfortunately I got wrapped up with crystal methamphetamine. Quickly became an addict. I lost my children, my husband, my home, car, my job, and eventually my freedom. You think it's pleasure in the beginning. It's very consuming. It consumed me easily. When I was in jail, I just realized the life I had and what I took for granted. You know, my family, my husband. It was definitely my bottom. Coming out of jail, I had no place to go, and I was introduced to the Pono Vai'ola reintegration program, which is through Hope Services Hawaii. And there is where I turned my life around. They were very kind and loving. They accepted me with open arms. They gave me a purpose. I was always taking. It was just an amazing feeling being able to help someone else and give back to the community. It's my job to reach out to people that used to be like me. I've been there, I've experienced it all, and there's help out there if you want it. Everything's possible. If it wasn't for the Hawaii Island United Way funding for these programs that I was involved in, my life would have been different. I'm very grateful for New Hope Services, I love Hawaii Island United Way for providing the fundings to these programs to help families like me, to be there for the children, to be there for me.
I've been giving to the Hawaii Island United Way for over 14 years now as a county employee. They support programs that support all of us as a community.
They were there for me from the beginning.
Your contribution means so much to Hawaii's future.
Your donation can make such a difference.
We can reach our goal if all of us give.
Mahalo.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much.
Please give.
Thank you so much for supporting the Hawaii Island United Way. You can make a difference. I did.
So aloha everybody. We're here, all friends of Hawaii Island United Way. My name is Kathy Amalot.
And I'm Paki Story, Director of Family Support Hawaii.
I'm John Green, a father.
I'm Larry Ursula with the West Hawaii Fathers Initiative.
And that is what we're going to be speaking to you folks about today. This program is one of the many programs of Hawaii Island United Way. And so we're here just to share a little bit of information, a little bit more detailed information on the services of the program and what it brings to our Hawaii Island community. Telling us a little bit about the program.
Yeah, the West Hawaii Fathers Initiative began, I think, about 8 years ago with the, I guess, with the fact that many fathers in the community needed some help and wasn't able to find a place to gather and have some place to talk. So it began as such. We went out to the homes hoping that they could engage, but the daytime wasn't available. So we began mixing it up, and we found that the evenings really worked. And now we're having a turnout. I think we probably had about 360 men pass our program in such time. And we'll hear from John today a little bit about his testimonies and his experiences with the Fathers Initiative. So it's still going on. Every Tuesday nights we serve up a great meal, and then following that curriculum of nurturing fathers. And we know with no doubt that the fathers that are engaging the program find the new methods and tools to help them become better parents, loving fathers, and even a better mate in their relationship with their wives.
Right. Yeah, at Family Support Hawaii, our mission is to help families and communities provide love and care to their children, really our children. And we have a lot of different programs that go out into the community, work with all different kinds of issues and problems and just support, really. And I think that's what we started seeing. A lot of our programs are home-based, where we go into the homes. And what we were seeing was a need in those families where the dads needed support, And traditionally, men in our culture, it's not always easy to, number one, admit you need a little support or would like a little support, and number two, to actually reach out and help that. And that's what I love so much about what Larry and Kawila do with the fatherhood program, is that they don't talk down to anybody, and it's just like a bunch of guys getting together and talking story. And in the meantime, people get really comfortable and become free to talk about some of that deeper stuff. What does it mean to be a dad? What can I expect being a dad? What's it like for kids growing up? What are their developmental trajectories? What can I expect? So many times we start out as parents and we have no idea what's coming our way. There's no manual, and especially for the young guys, and I know in particular we reach out to young fathers. I think it's a real help to kind of settle down, take a breath, and this is what's going on, I can do it, we can get through it, and we're going to go through it together. I'd like to hear about some of the events that we're able to take our fathers on.
We try to prepare several events. One of them this last June was a big turnout for the fatherhood celebration, and not too much radio, but some radio got leaked out, and before you know it, the swing zone was exploding with families in the community, fathers, new people who were trying to figure out what this program was about. I still think in the last 5 years, 6 years, I would say it was still in its infancy. It still seemed to be men are still trying to figure a way to come out and still stay masculine, but at the same time find that feminine side to deliver to their children because they need it. They need to feel that love. And I'm proud to say, that many of our men who came in had their lives got changed, and alongside of Kawila and myself, our lives were changed. And this is, I feel like we're one of the templates. I've seen many programs in the state of Hawaii, but we're very unique. I don't know what we did or how we're doing it, but it's very unique because there's this comfortable feeling within the group. We went and took them to the 4D theaters where some of the kids have never gone to a 4D theater. We've done barbecues out at the parks, watching fathers engage, watching fathers read to their children. Fathers who are not comfortable reading and children not comfortable listening to their father read, but we found such a nurturing time, and it breaks some of our men's different societal beliefs that men just are simply providers and protectors. Definitely, the only two things we know that we cannot do, John, is what? Men can't do two things. Can I say this on TV? Like they can't give birth and they can't breastfeed. That's it. Everything else, John Green does it all. He's the poster kid right now. I mean, he's in his 6th year with us. And maybe John might want to share a little bit about his thoughts.
Well, first of all, it's been a great support group for me. I was going through some trying times when my daughter was first born, and the group made me aware of a lot of different outlets of programs, the hippie program, a pre-toddler program that helped develop my child and get her ready for kindergarten and things like that. A lot of programs that I otherwise would have been aware of, I was aware of because of the Fatherhood Initiative group. The next thing that I like about Fatherhood Initiative, we have different courses on, nurturing our children, proper nutrition, proper discipline, and, parenting tips that, gee whiz, we wouldn't get it anywhere else if we didn't have these guys helping us out. And then all the fathers play a major role that continue with the program because they help support each other with ideals and feelings and emotions, and maybe helping another father get across a hurdle that he can't get across by himself. And if you talk to someone who isn't a parent, which I tried to do quite a few times before I became part of the program, it's like spinning your wheels because a lot of people don't even want to hear it. They're not involved, and thank God there's the Fatherhood Initiative program.
And John has also become a mentor for other dads, and that's the thing we want. We want men to have a connection, a belonging, and ownership to the program. Kawila and I don't own the program. Yeah. We work for family support. We're a division of. But when we get there, we just lay all of that down, and it's an open field. It's real sacred because every time that door cracks open, we feel like someone's walking into our group, our family of men and their children, and that's what makes it unique. And yet, it's just an office, and we're able to feel all of that in a 4-wall building. So, John's just. John would have a lot more to say, but maybe we should find topics for you to talk on as we continue.
Well, I think all the fathers grab onto a little piece of something to take back with them. Even some of the toughest case fathers, seem to find a bit of knowledge and to take with them about how to be better fathers and handle the situation better with the courts. The courts can be quite trying on a single parent and trying to go through that and raise the child, and it's really tough. And thank God I'm through that drama already, and now I can focus on nurturing my child and taking care of her needs, which should be every parent's focus. Another thing that we've discussed, and hopefully this won't happen, but if you guys can work things out before you have to go to court and stuff, and do what's best for the child. Put your feelings aside and focus on the child. and then maybe you guys can come together, because once you start entering the court system, you're in for a lot of financial cost, and you're no longer in control of your life. The courts are in control of your life at that point.
I think for me too, one of the things, like I think Larry used the word sacred and talked about what happens in an office becoming not just an office, but a community in a way. The backbone of the fatherhood program is the Hawaiian values that we use. I'd like to hear Larry tell us a little bit about how that just weaves throughout everything we do and why that's so important, not just for the Hawaiian fathers that we serve, but how it's a value too for the fathers who aren't Hawaiian, how that can be
so true,
useful.
Waki. You know, Hawaiian values, whether it's about ohana, whether it's about respect, or it's kuleana, many people know that responsibility is at hand in every day of our life. But if we can look back, my teacher said, if we're seeking for knowledge, we're seeking for the past, and if we are seeking for the past, we're seeking for our kupuna. Our kupunas have left such a life and a legacy for us that today's generation is furthering themselves away from these very simple traditions. And when we start talking about Hawaiian values, we find that the values are not just Hawaiians. They're just, it's universal. It's done in other cultures in its simplicity. But when we talk about it, everybody can make a quick connection to it. And what happens to that moment when someone can recognize their grandparents, their mother, having to act in a way that it causes them to respect and to love. Amongst men, men will stick their chests out and walk in and feel like, I don't need this, but no matter what nurturing curriculum we're using, as soon as we get to the Hawaiian values, there is a sense of solemnness between men. I don't know what causes that. They might have seen an action they might be reflecting their grandparents, and when they reflect that, they put aside their means to be a strong protector. Each warrior in the room presents himself at the same time. You cannot protect if you cannot even protect a child unless you can love that child. And in the Hawaiian values, when I went to school, and that was where my degree comes from, Hawaiian Studies, Pacific Island Studies, and I love that. We began teaching the men to dance hula. We performed many places. They don't realize that we just did the American Cancer Society performance, and I mean we had the hoops hurrah and where you guys from and can we join? Maybe you can join. They're more for men, but at the same time we allow their wives to come in so they can be engaging. That unification of family between the wife, husband, and children is most significant. That's what makes a community. And what makes it Hawaiian and universal is that every father in the room is watching John's baby Shyla. And if somebody else is bringing their children, everybody's watching that child. And that's what we talk about. It takes a village to raise a child. But it's in that very office that we're actually practicing that. And my observation is that, when I forget what father it was, but his child just simply fell or started to cry. And I could see on every man's face the pain, because when they looked at the father, he felt the pain of his daughter, and everyone looked at him and felt like, is she okay? Can I do anything? And I mean, you don't practice this at the park. You're like going, son, get down there and make the tackle, man. I mean, break him in half. But when we get there, that strong masculine warrior just walks away from the table, and the nurturing and the confidence behind each man, is seen. And to me and Kawila, we can always say this, that we are the recipient of watching fathers learn to love and care. And we walk away, thinking, and we get paid for this, and so, and if anything, if anything was to happen to such a program like this, I would then proceed by lifting my garage door, and we'll be having it there. And I know that men from all over the community will come not because Larry or Kawila is doing or Mr. Green is doing it. It's because once they get in the door, they don't realize that they're walking into a place where men can actually let their hair down. Well, sometimes, yeah. and really believe that someone across of them cares. And when you have that, this society changes, men changes, their children become healthy, and life goes on.
Not to mention the great dinner they serve you promptly at 6 o'clock.
And now I heard, being a resident in West Hawaii for a long time, that this program actually started with one pot of rice and stew. You know, so it's a very grassroots program.
You cannot
responding
gather them,
to the needs. Responding to the needs. The needs are what directed the program starting, which is really beautiful. And then the gathering place or the office. You know, just. That when that's the intent of it, you know, of truly providing a service for a need, when it's driven by the need. That's where I look at the success of this program, because it really is answering a calling, you know, that was necessary in West Hawaii.
And it has an impact on the office too. You know, Kawila and Larry will be in one of the buildings doing the cooking, so that good smell starts going through everywhere. So everyone comes over, and you know, some of the people just like to hang a little bit after work and watch the kids for a little bit. Some of the dads that also work in the programs have stuck around from time to time just to kind of interact, and I mean, it's just such a good energy that people want to be a part of it. You know, it just makes it, you know, you can't always put your finger on what it is, but you know there's something special. You know there's something happening there, and you know it's just you feel better walking out of there. You know, after you come to.
Yeah, I'm not ordered to go, or I don't have to go, but I really enjoy going to the Fatherhood Initiative program, and I think everybody will find a really good comfort zone there, because it's a lot of aloha and a lot of friends that can share mana'o with you. One of my favorite words, Larry taught me.
Yeah. And if not, Shyla, his lovely daughter, which remind him it's Tuesday night and it's Father's night, and you know, his daughter literally grew up in our program, and we've watched John change greatly from high stress, not eating right, sleep deprived, to a point where we have to not just talk about these methods, but we have to find a way for our fathers to actually use it. And so, you know, I tried that. Try to sleep early, try to get up and eat right, get my exercise, and be ready for the day. And at the same time, if our fathers if they're not taking care of themselves, they believe this. It's a belief. If they're not taking if they cannot take care of themselves, they cannot take care of their families. And John is a living testimony alongside of many other dads who rolled in completely stressed. I mean, other fathers have employed other fathers because they lost their job, and that's when you know. I mean, there's a great trust, because I myself will not just say, "Hey, I'm going to employ you and trust you. I'm going to give you work." John has done that. Several dads have employed other dads in times of need, and you know, this is nothing. It doesn't say that in the program, but we are inventing things within because it's in Hawaii. And Hawaii has a uniqueness, and that's what I mean. And I think we're going to begin to understand it. And I think our fathers are understanding that they're not just men across men. They're men trying to understand men and understand their past, and try to correct that past so that their children can have a better lifestyle.
And John mentioned that he's not ordered to go, which I think is a great point, because this program is not a mandatory program for probation.
So let's talk about how
for
somebody would get into the program if they were interested. Well, how would they go about?
Yeah, in the beginning, me and Kawila, we just was like going into the supermarkets, going downtown. Hey, you got a baby. That guy got a baby. Hey, what's your name? You know, we recruited like just grassroots recruit. Hey, how's it? You father right there? Take this right there. Read this. You getting any problem? They look at that like, hey man, am I incompetent? What? Get out of here. So all of that began, but as this thing began to grow and like a little pebble rippling, we're now beginning to get referrals from the judges, many other programs.
From the judge.
Yeah, and it's this program, and you know, I mean, it holds weight because you know, the judges. They're sending these dads directly. John is not mandated. John just comes because I don't know if he likes the food first or the curriculum.
I like the support that I get. It gives me a comfort zone. And that's another really important thing, that the fathers, even if you're a good father, you really need to come, because you can help the other fathers there with ideals and stuff. Some people, I don't need to go because I'm a great father. Well, that's even a better reason for you to come, to share some of your knowledge with the other fathers.
So what do I do if I'm a dad watching this at home and I think, wow, this is something that might be good for me, I'd like to check it out. What's the first step? How do I start out?
If you need help in any way with fathering, nurturing your children, we are right on Lunapule Street. Our doors just evolve. It just goes in and out. There's really no criteria. It's really about you wanting to come out. It's really about you wanting to be a better parent. That's where it begins. If we sit back and think we need help, this is the program that can help you take that first step. I forget where we're at, but we'll get it on. The address and everything. Every Tuesday nights we're meeting, and we'll home visit you. We'll take your phone calls, and I promise that if we don't have the answers, we have fathers that will have the answers for you. That's what makes the uniqueness of the program, is that we do not feel we're fully edified facilitators or coaches. We are going to utilize our group to answer your question, because our group possess those issues, those problems, and those strengths, and that's what we're going to bring to the table, and that's how you get in. Now, you can get in other ways. You can be referred and walk in and they feel awkward, or you can just walk in and take the first bite and say, I like the stew, and then take the first lesson and say, I like what I heard, and just keep coming from there on, because your question is going to push me, it's going to push John Green, it's going to push Kawila Ho. It's going to push the whole family support services to move forward in getting your support to you and making your life healthy.
And is there a charge for the program?
Not 1 cent. There's no charge, and that's another beautiful thing, because in other programs, other STEP programs, there's $20 a class.
It's very inclusive. There's no barriers to stop somebody from walking in.
No barriers.
Right.
And that's what shows me that this is really a value to the community, to obviously our partners at the Hawaii Island United Way. We just thank so much.
And partnering with Hawaii Island United Way, you're really partnering with the whole community as a whole of folks that believe in what Hawaii Island United Way does and their mission, which is to unite people, organizations, and resources to build a healthier community. So we're so parallel in what we want for our community and what we're all trying to achieve.
And we wind up getting so many things just donated from the community, like the Fairwinds who's given us trips, and talk about some of the other folks who have helped us, worked with us, and given us nice.
Yeah, we had people that cannot come out. KTA, the Blue Helicopters gave us rides. We have Walmart, Kmart. Everybody's trying to help this program. And at the same time, when any of those resources come in, we store the resources, and we know that there's a family that really needs help. Then we get it out to them, whether it's diapers or just Similac or just a bag of Simon or Spam or a KTA card, which sometimes we get. People come in, hey, I got four $20 KTA cards, and dads are struggling. They're struggling. I mean, and it's not easy. So it makes them. I'm a person. I have my own pride. I will not walk in somebody's office. I will not knock on my family's door, because it's a sign of weakness. But if you love your children, you gotta knock. If you don't knock, then somebody's gonna starve or somebody's gonna get hurt. And that's why I'm very proud of, me and Kawila are very proud of our fathers, and me and Kawila gotta knock too. So when we knock, we show them how to knock.
Yeah, that's right.
Answer, knock,
You're not asking anyone to do anything you guys don't do.
Correct.
Right,
That's
correct.
That's the beautiful thing.
And that's the other beautiful thing. I have to do another plug for United Way here, because that's the thing. It's a hand up, at the time that you need. And these fathers, when they've had that hand up and they're able to, function as society as a whole needs us to function, then they're the ones that are able to give back to United Way, through when they're flourishing and they have the resources to be able to give, because they know that while that program was there when I needed it, you know, and now I can give something to help the program. And it's just a full circle. It all comes full circle, and it's beautiful. And those children, as they grow, they remember that. They remember that experience of pulling Dad on Tuesday night to the meeting, you know, and hopefully they, you know, in turn grow up to be people that want to nurture their community because they've had the community nurture them. I was blessed to be able to be at that celebration, this past celebration, and I brought. Actually, it started out with one child, my grandchild, whose father is not available, and then I ended up bringing 3 other girls who have no father figure in their life. And I remember when we checked in, she said, "Is there a father?" And I go, "That would be me today." It's the Grammy, but you know, I'll do what I can do. And I felt so the whole event was so powerful and beautiful. And there's the inclusiveness, you know, for her grandma to come with 1 grandchild and 3 stray children that I picked up on the way, you know. And just to have it be open, come inside, you know, it was great. It was a wonderful experience.
Yeah, and United Way is the kind of support and the kind of protection to the program that helps us to continue the service and the efforts. So, you know, that alone, and anybody else that's out there that could help with the program. When you help a program like this, you're investing in the redemption of families. So it's not just about people trying to figure out. We have figured it out. We know exactly what men are looking and need. If you are in any way wondering, come and just step in. No promises. All we can tell you is that there is going to be a blanket of warmth, and either you add to that family warmth, or we will figure a way for you to leave home with understanding that that's something you need to bring home and blanket your family and your children with. It's all about that.
And do you have a work number that folks could call?
If you call 808-334 4153, I will pick up. If you call 334-4180, Kawilaho will call up. We're no longer facilitators, but we are coaches. It makes it easier for men to say, "Hey, coach," rather than to say, "Hey, how's it, facilitator?" Nobody likes to be facilitated.
Right. No, and I think that's a big part of it too, that there's no stigma, that it's just a bunch of guys coming together, and what winds up happening and the hope of the program is that the dads take the knowledge and the learning and the support, and then take that out into their communities. You know, the communities that they touch every day, the circles that they travel in. You know.
Good day. My name is Kathy Amelot. I'm here as a member of Hawaii Island United Way, island organization that is partnering with 53 programs here on the Big Island. Today I have special guests with me that are going to be talking about the E3 program with Family Support Hawaii, and I'll let them introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Pam Nauman. I am the program manager of the Youth Development Department at Family Support Hawaii. We are recipients from Hawaii Island United Way's funding for our Project E3.
And I am Jeff Gorley. I am a Positive Youth Development Specialist for Family Support Hawaii's Youth Development Programs. And in addition to running our Positive Youth Development Program, I am also coordinating Project E3 for our programs.
Thank you, and welcome everybody. Let's just jump right into it and share with our audience what the program's about.
Well, Project E3 is helping us work with our Youth Advisory Council, which is a youth leadership program. The Youth Advisory Council has been in a program in existence for over 10 years now. Actually, the first Youth Advisory Council I was a member of.
Yay!
So we are now working with Project
As a youth, you were a member of.
Yes, I
okay.
was. When I was in high school. Which, for any kids watching, that was way in the dark ages 10 years ago. So we're working with Project E3 to create a new curriculum for the Youth Advisory Council to kind of strengthen the values and the lessons that we learn in the Youth Advisory Council. So where it used to be very free form and we kind of made it up as we went, there is a structured curriculum for leadership and for entrepreneurial skills. We went and built this lovely workbook for all of our kids this year.
Yay!
So they're working with that curriculum. They're going to be learning to create a business plan, and they're actually going to create a business plan for the Youth Advisory Council to figure out where they're taking the Youth Advisory Council once we finish the structured curriculum.
And what the Youth Advisory Council, their mission or their what are they about?
You know, we actually, one of the lessons that we did with them the other day was creating their mission statement, which they selected helping ourselves and our community by having fun while learning is their official mission statement. Now, exactly how that happens is up to the kids. If they want to do a community service project, then we work with them to do that. If they want to do a personal development type of thing, we can do that. One of my goals is to work with the kids to actually get them traveling so they can see more than just Kona, because a lot of the kids we've got have no money and very little prospect of actually going out there and seeing the world. So I would love to give them that opportunity.
To let them see what's available outside the door. We were talking about that a little bit earlier, about the population of the kids in the program and where it's located. So would you like to share a little bit of information on that?
Well, our program runs at Kalakaua Intermediate School, which is a community that does have a lot of underrepresented populations. We do have minority groups around that area. We do have low-income groups around that area. And we're working to benefit them in ways that they might not be able to achieve on their own.
So you're basically bringing the program to them.
Yes.
Because they're a captive audience, being that they're in school there, and so therefore breaking down one of the barriers of transportation.
Yes.
And then you also have resources to be able to do transportation, to do the transports that you're talking about showing them the bigger picture and getting them out of Kona, which, you know, is an opportunity that a lot of this population doesn't receive, right?
Right.
On a regular basis. So has the program started?
We have started this year's curriculum.
That's right, the mission statement. The
Yes.
kids made their mission statement.
We've been going since about the middle of August. We have 12 students currently participating in the program. We're hoping to get more, but they've gone through quite a bit of the entrepreneurial curriculum so far. They have their mission statement. We're now getting them into some of the nitty-gritty details of parliamentary procedure, because eventually they're going to have to elect officers. They're actually going to have to hold board meetings. And they're going to have to learn to take minutes and keep records for themselves.
Right. Now, do they recruit fellow participants? Is that basic? I mean, because that's usually how it is with kids, right? Word of mouth.
They do a lot of interpersonal recruitment through their friends. We also have a partnership with the intermediate school and send flyers home and advertise in the school's newsletter. And
Great. So that's how you most of the participants. But you know, having a 10-year history is amazing to begin with, you know. So can you share maybe a little bit of what you received, the gifts that you received from the program, and obviously they were very meaningful to you if you're trying to share with the new students coming in.
You know, before I participated with the program, I wouldn't be sitting here today. No. I was not real comfortable in the spotlight. I was not real comfortable with leadership prospects. And I really was not comfortable with the idea of taking on a role like I'm in now with Positive Youth Development, where I'm the leader of a group of kids. 10 years ago, I would not have ever thought I'd be working for Family Support, frankly. But the leadership skills I learned and the relationships that we built with the staff we were working with when we were working with the Youth Advisory Council in high school really get dug deep. You know, some of the best friends I had in high school were the staff we were working with, and it really, beyond any of the other lessons I took away from it, it was that connection. And you also, without even realizing it, you got a lot of personal development lessons out of the program that you don't even think about. Just, you're now better at doing something that you had no clue, like speaking in front of a camera or speaking to someone in public, and just don't really think about a lot of the things you learn along the way.
Well, and so much of the information, you know, being with my history, which is now over 10 years with United Way, Hawaii Island United Way, and being a resident here for many years, you know, well, all of us are aware of kids at that age needing that safe place, that safe adult, you know, somebody who's non-threatening, that's a role model to them, where they can feel safe. And that's what I you know, especially loved about the program when our volunteers were doing the allocation process and considering which programs to support this in this funding cycle. And that's what really excited us. It was that you know, that population, that age group, we all know is very underserved, and it's not really always necessarily because of us adults or programs not making ourselves available. It's just a very tender age for children, you know, and it's a hard time for them to come forward. So if you have a successful program with that age group, it's wonderful, you know, and as you're a perfect example of showing how it just, you know, goes way beyond that experience of being in the program.
Well, just for the record, there is another example of that in our agency at the moment. Our teen pregnancy prevention instructor for Family Support Hawaii is also a former member of the Youth Advisory Council.
Great.
She was a graduate of the same class that I was in.
Great, and that's what you hear so much from our volunteers from Hawaii Island United Way. They're paying it forward because of an experience that they've had in their life that was connected to Hawaii Island United Way. Every campaign chair I've ever heard has used that terminology and said, I received wonderful results from a program earlier on in my life, whether it be when I was a kid or you know, went through an experience in life of losing someone I loved or whatever, you know, that's how they connected with giving back, you know. And
that's the success story.
Yes, exactly. And then, you know, there's no matter how much, especially the population of children, you know, no matter, we can speak to them, but, you know, the example, showing the example and walking our talk, I think is really what, you know, they respect, like anyone, I guess. They see right through it.
Exactly. They can sense if you're passionate about what you're doing and, you know, why you're doing it. You know, kids know.
Oh, yes, and they are not shy about telling you when they know that you're not doing what you're saying you're doing, you know, but that's perfect. And that, it's like you were saying, it really, it takes you out of yourself and makes you start, you know, doing things that you never expected you'd be doing years down the road. Great. So, is there room in the program for more kids? I think you were saying that you're hoping to have more.
We definitely have room both in projects E3 and Youth Advisory Council, as well as just in our program in general for anyone interested.
Okay, and that would be, let's just go over what the criteria, what age group again?
This is for middle school students, so primarily 11, 12, and 13-year-olds, although that is also flexible depending on the age they are when they're in the grade level. We focus on Kealakekua intermediate school students because that's where our program is located, but if there are other students in the age range that are interested that can get transportation to program, we're happy to take them. And yeah, that's pretty much the criteria, right?
Yes.
So they don't have to have good grades or or
we have a homework time.
Yeah, we do help them with their homework.
Every day they have a set time, they sit down, they get help with their homework.
So you get that out of the way before the fun starts.
Which is helpful to the parents.
Definitely, yeah. And again, you know, they're in a safe environment with an adult for that amount of time, which is really wonderful for that age group. Great. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
We want to thank you for your funding.
Thank you.
When you thank Hawaii Island United Way, you're thanking all of the donors that are, you know, graciously give to keep our community healthy and invest in our community. So we have to thank everyone who's watching.
Well, we
appreciate
the support from the community.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, that sounds like a wrap. Thank you very much.